We join you tonight from Indianapolis, Indiana. The fans here at Bankers Live Fieldhouse looking for the closeout. The Pacers leading the Orlando Magic 3-1. First round action from the NBA playoffs here on NBA TV. Winner here will play the winner of the Miami Knicks series. Heat up 3-1 there. Philadelphia leading its series against Chicago, and the Celtics up 3-1 on Atlanta. Welcome, everybody. Ian Eagle along with former NBA All-Star Steve Smith. Stephanie Reddy will join us momentarily. Steve, 1 year ago, Indiana, the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference, they were just happy to be in the postseason. Here they are now, a year later, as the number 3 seed and a chance to advance. Really biggest difference last year to this year, the addition of David West, and what a difference he's been.
You're totally right. When you start to look at David West, what he's brought to this Pacer team, one, he brings playoff experience, but physical play. You love that in playoff basketball. He has a high basketball IQ. He's a versatile power forward. And yes, Frank Vogel, he is a go-to guy for the Indiana Pacers. And let's watch right here. This is where they like to get the basketball to him. But his versatility, he can get it on the block. But on the elbow, they throw it to him and the guards cut off him. As you can see this play develop, he has a lot of options, but Barbosa comes off on him. He reads the defense of Earl Clark. That little hesitation, David West takes the lane, dunks it hard, goes extremely hard for the Pacers.
Transition game, that's been a key in this series. When Indiana has been able to get out on the break, they've been very successful. Look at what they did in Game 2 and Game 3. Orlando did a nice job in Game 4. Indiana winning the game, though, in overtime to take the 3-1 lead. Magic, this has been a challenging season for Stan Van Gundy and company, and without Dwight Howard in this series, there's been a clear issue for them offensively. They just have not been able to consistently put points on the board.
They have not. I mean, when you start to look at this Orlando Magic, they rely so much on Dwight Howard drawing double teams, being able to shoot the 3 ball. You see 38% during the season. But I think right now, when you start to look at this team, a lot of these guys can't create their own offense. But the one bright spot, Ian, has been Big Baby Davis. Glenn Davis has been tremendous. Whether he's on the glass, whether he's playing great defense against Roy Hibbert, knocking down shots, he has been the go-to guy and the best player for the Orlando Magic.
Orlando trying to stay alive and hoping that Davis can have a strong performance tonight against the Pacers. Coming up, we'll head back to the studio. Rick Kamala and company before we Magic and Sam Mitchell, former member of the Pacers, back in the studio here tonight. And this game brought to you in stunning high definition by Hire, the official HD TV provider of the NBA. Countdown to tip-off continues as we get you ready for Game 5. The Pacers and the Magic, Indiana leading 3-1. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team. It's Stephanie Reddy.
Thank you so much, Ian. This Orlando Magic team was the decided underdog without their all-star center, Dwight Howard, to start the series, and now they're down 3-1 against these Pacers. However, the Magic, they are an experienced team. They are not panicking, and their point guard and leader, Jameer Nelson, expressed that sentiment to me just yesterday.
Well, we're a team that never gives up. We're not in it at all for moral victories, and we shouldn't be, because we're better than that. We expect to win games when we step on the court, and we prepare ourselves to win games.
And that preparation gives the Magic confidence in trying to achieve what would be an extraordinary win on the road tonight, Ian.
No doubt, Stephanie. 101-99 loss in overtime on Saturday afternoon in Orlando. Magic had chances thanks to that fourth quarter run that got them back into the game and forced the extra session, but Indiana got the win. Let's check out the starting lineups for Orlando. It's Nelson, Richardson in the backcourt, Turkoglu, Anderson, and Davis up front. Stan Van Gundy did go small, and it was effective in Game 4. We'll see if he looks for that option here tonight. Indiana, Hill, George, Granger, West, and Hibbert, the starting 5 for Frank Vogel's team. Our officiating crew tonight: Monty McCutcheon, Mark Davis, and David Guthrie. Indiana has not been out of the first round in the NBA playoffs since 2005, when they defeated the Boston Celtics. Last year, they lost to the number 1 seed Chicago Bulls in the first round, 4-1. The concern, Steve, for Indiana, they led by 19 with 8 minutes to play in Game 4, only to see Orlando with their hustle and their effort and grit come back and make it a ball game.
And that's the one Achilles heel that I'm looking at this Indiana Pacers team. Tremendous depth, but can they finish out games? Can they close out games in the fourth quarter? They struggle, obviously, in Game 1, also in Game 4 with a big lead. You've got to find a way to get those games, win those games. And I think also right now, they found out who the go-to guy is, and that's David West.
Frank Vogel's team, though, 15-4 since April 7th, so they've played their best basketball in the final stretch of the regular season. Into the postseason, we're underway here at Indianapolis. Orlando controls the tip for Game 5. Nelson will match up with Hill on the outside. Anderson will set the screen. Turkoglu playing with that protective mask. Turkoglu, step back jumper, no. And rebounded by George. He's done a nice job off the glass in this series. Has not scored, though, the way that we saw during the regular season.
He has not. I think he's young. I think the playoff experience, I think the more games he gets under his belt, he'll get more comfortable. I think when you look at this starting lineup, they go through Roy Hibbert, they go through David West, and Danny Granger obviously is one of those guys that will score the basketball. He has to find other ways to score, just like that, Paul George.
George gets the tip in and the foul. A chance at a three-point play to open things up for Indiana.
And we talked to Frank Vogel. He said he was going to make a conscious effort to run some plays to get him off early. This is a play made by Paul George, getting on that glass, using that 6'9" frame against Jason Richardson. George,
80% free throw shooter this season, and short. 2-0 lead. Indiana, first minute of play. 8 teams have come back from a 3-1 deficit. The last one, Phoenix in 2006, when they beat the Lakers. Richardson on the dribble drive takes it to the goal.
You know, I love to see players like Jason Richardson, who's been kind of stuck in this system, waiting for three-point shots. He's a better athlete and better basketball player than that, and I love Stan Van Gundy getting him a basket off movement.
He had 25 in the loss the other day. West is off the mark on his first attempt. And last touch by Anderson.
All right, and you see this play, had a great pass by Turkoglu, and he's been over the years one of their best playmakers, and you can see right here, 6'10", being able to see through the defense, made a perfect bounce pass to Jason Richardson.
Davis guarding West. It's George firing and connects. Finally has a three-pointer in this series. Paul George, who's been struggling from long range.
I have to give that three-pointer to Frank Vogel. He talked about keeping the confidence for Paul George, and you can see on his face when he knocked that one down, it was a sign of relief.
He was 0 of 13 from deep before that attempt. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by Indiana. Pacers with a 5-2 lead. Paul George, sky's the limit for this 22-year-old.
You know, I love him. I think when you start to look at his physical ability, all the different things he can do on the basketball court, offensively and defensively, and then his age, that's definitely a plus.
Anderson buries the three, and that's been an issue in this series. Ryan Anderson, the NBA's most improved player, celebrated his 24th birthday on Sunday. Denial on the inside, but Hibbert sticks with the play to get the bucket.
You know, Ryan Anderson, you know, he's always had Dwight Howard to clean up different things on the defensive end, and we talked to Stan Van Gundy and also Frank Vogel. It's obvious, whoever he's guarding, that's where the Indiana Pacers are going.
Here's Nelson, trying to get the step on Hill. Kick out for Richardson, 5 to shoot. Anderson's going to have to hoist short, and rebound bounces out of bounds.
All right, let's get a chance to watch Ryan Anderson on this play. You see Jameer Nelson sets the pick. David West did not stay connected. That one little inch of watching Jameer gave him that room, and Ryan Anderson got it off quick.
All of Indiana's points have come on second chance opportunities. Hibbert, no. Knocked upstairs and controlled by Turkoglu. Indiana up by 2. Nelson trying to push it up the floor. Pacers good floor balance. Nelson the pull-up pop. Book it.
That's pretty. I mean, Jameer Nelson turned down the screen even with the length of Paul George. Shot that two-pointer with a lot of confidence.
He had 12 points, 11 assists on Saturday, but Orlando as a team shot just 40%, including 9 of 29 from three-point range. Granger looking for the open man. A bump. Hill, tough angle. It nearly went. And a foul called against Nelson. This
smart play by George Hill. He showed shot Jameer Nelson. Came and committed a little bit too much, and what George Hill did is take one dribble, run into Jameer Nelson, and got himself to the free throw line.
Hill did not play well throughout most of the game on Saturday, but he scored the last 6 points in overtime for Indiana. And what did Frank Vogel tell us earlier? He just has that feeling when Hill's on the floor that he's going to make big plays when the game's on the line. He called him a gamer.
He is a gamer. I mean, in that Spurs system, you saw time in and time out. As a young player, make big-time plays. And I'm not just talking about offensively. Defensively, he had some tough assignments. And you know what? He held his own. And now in this offense with the Pacers, they're asking him to play point guard, and he's doing a pretty good job.
He led the state of Indiana in scoring as a high school senior at Broad Ripple, 36.2 points per game in a talent-laden area, to say the least.
Did you say 36 points?
36. Yeah.
Wow, he gave himself a chance.
I even questioned myself after I said it. I had to look back at my notes, Steve. 36.2. And a foul called. It will work against Hill.
You know, I can see it. I mean, because he can shoot the basketball, and he's strong enough to go in and drive the basketball. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to knock him down. He's a talented player.
There's Nelson taking the baseline. Hibbert was looming. Tried to get it to Davis. Good effort there by Hill, and he forced a turnover.
You said it, Ian. The effort by Hill. If he doesn't go up that basketball, Glenn Davis doesn't step out of bounds. But you can see George Hill not fearless, and you can see Big Baby steps right on that line.
And they're yet to get Big Baby involved. He has not had a look on the offensive end. Hill, high dribble, floater, no, but a foul. So that's part of the game plan right now. George Hill, aggressive.
You know, talking to Brian Shaw before the game, assistant coach for the Pacers, he said, you know, I asked him about Paul George getting on the post. He said, you know, we have also George Hill against Jameer Nelson. Not only on the post, he can just use his size. And this is huge. I think this is 2 fouls on Jameer Nelson. Stan might have to think about going to his bench.
And this is one of those deals. By the way, the foul was called on Anderson.
Oh, it was.
Orlando caught a break.
They caught a break.
One of those trades, Steve, that you can honestly say worked out for both teams. Kawhi Leonard drafted by Indiana, but they had made the deal with San Antonio to trade the rookie out of San Diego State. And Leonard has been a perfect fit for Greg Popovich and company. And Hill is what Indiana needed at that guard position. He and Collison have shared the duties this year.
You're totally right. And everybody was talking about seeing if this is going to work because George Hill got hurt and you didn't know how he would fit in. You can see this steal right here. Here's David West.
West to the rim. Gets the roll.
That's the versatility of David West. Putting the basketball on the ground, being able to dribble, make plays. Nice play by David West.
Indiana has its largest lead. We have just over 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Turkoglu getting a step on Granger, 10 to shoot. Now it's Anderson. Hibbert comes way outside to guard him. Davis finally gets a touch. 2 on the clock. Davis can't hit from the outside. Anderson battling for the loose ball, but it's claimed by Hill. Hill sets up the offense for Indiana. Granger one-on-one. Using the body on Richardson. A double from Davis. Hibbert taking advantage against Anderson. The pump, the lean. Yes. Count it.
You know, Ryan Anderson played good defense. That was just 7-2 his length. But I like the little pump fake by Roy Hibbert to get Ryan Anderson up.
And a 7-0 run for the Pacers, getting the Indiana fans up on their feet. Just over 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Orlando facing elimination.
For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By Men in Black 3 in theaters May 25th. And by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Indiana off to the quick start, and Steve Smith, the Pacers establishing the bigs early.
Yes, indeed. Let's watch this play right here. This is defense to offense, and that's my go-to guy. Circle David West. He gets the steal against Turkoglu. Look at him push the basketball in traffic. He finishes. Then the next play is Roy Hibbert. We're going to put an X on Ryan Anderson because we know this is where Frank Vogel wants to go. Anybody that Ryan Anderson is guarding, they are going straight to him, seeing if he can stop these offensive players.
Indiana has not closed out a playoff series at home since 2000 when they beat the Milwaukee Bucks. So 12 years in the making, the Pacers with an opportunity to do it in front of the home fans tonight. They've got a 14-7 lead. Working around the perimeter after the Orlando timeout. Nelson, leaning jumper, no. Rebounded by Hill for Indiana.
Well, the Pacers are doing a good job of boxing out, and we all know when point guards or an offensive team shoot, the point guard has to get back. George Hill is going in, grabbing these rebounds, collecting the rebounds for the Indiana Pacers.
West makes his move. The fadeaway, count it. David West, such a smooth delivery.
Yes, indeed. I mean, you know, Ryan Anderson has been guarding primarily this entire season. They start off with Glenn Davis right now, and now they have two guys going. Roy Hibbert against Ryan Anderson and David West versus Big Baby.
Trying to end a 9-0 run. Indiana in front 16-7. Turkoglu swings it for Anderson. Shot clock winding down. Anderson outside. Davis puts it up over Hibbert. Rimming out. Out of bounds. Hill could not save it along the baseline.
Here's David West right here on the elbow. What he does is take a hard dribble, two dribbles, bounce, a little fadeaway against Glenn Davis. There's nothing you can do because it's hard to get off his body and then be able to contest. And if you try to get to contest early on this shot, he'll use the left hand and drive it real hard to get to the bucket.
Orlando 3 of 9 from the field. Davis weaves his way and gets the roll. Nice touch from Glenn Davis.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, averaging 20 points, close to 10 rebounds. He's playing Dwight Howard for the Orlando Magic right now while Dwight is out.
David West was banged up on the play. George, dump it inside. Hibbert against Anderson. Hard double from Turkoglu. Got his hands on the ball and a jump ball called.
You can see David West showing on this pick, and Jameer Nelson catches him in a sensitive place.
That's a nice way to put it. 16-9, Indiana in front. 5 to shoot on the 24th. It's going to be Hibbert and Turkoglu at 7-2 against 6-10.
You know what's interesting, Ian, is where does he tip his basketball? And who goes early? You see Jason Richardson, he read it that he was going to Paul George.
Richardson to the hoop. And he gets the foul call. George on the hack.
And this is where Paul George, these are little nuances of the game. You know, Roy Hibbert was tipping the basketball back to you. You have to hold off Jason Richardson. You can't let him get behind. It's like boxing out on a rebound. He lets the old vet Jason Richardson get behind him. He catches it, and he commits the foul.
There's a 9-year difference between the two, and you just saw it on that play. Jason Richardson just very smart. But comes up short on the free throw, which has been a problem for him. 59% this season. And you see Richardson, big game in game 1, and actually capped off the victory for Orlando, the rally for the Magic. Game 4, he went for 25. Games 2 and 3, struggled. 2 misses at the line for Richardson. This is mental at this point.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's definitely struggling. He's not getting to the free throw line, and a few attempts when he gets there, he's not cashing in. And look at David West make plays. He's asking for it.
Granger on a crossover. Dumped out. Hibbert made himself available. Nelson knocked out of bounds, and Indiana will retain it. 3.4 on the shot clock.
You know, I can see something to Roy Hibbert right and inside, and here's David West.
Down to 2, down to 1.
We got it off.
David West knocks it down.
That's beautiful basketball, to be able to catch the basketball in traffic and the confidence and the skill level to get this shot in. Whoa,
foul
what a collision.
Hibbert able to block J.J. Redick, but there was activity down low.
You know, I love this play by both players. J.J. Redick, not just a jump shot shooter anymore. He can drive the basketball, and Roy Hibbert understand he has to protect the paint. He attacks J.J. Redick. You don't want him to foul, but he's sending the message that you got to understand, I'm going to be down here when you drive it, J.J.
J.J. Redick, 91% shooter this season. Stan Van Gundy said rock solid. Now, not just a three-point shooter, but all facets of the game. You know what you're going to get from J.J. Redick on a night-in, night-out basis.
I mean, defensively, he's gotten much better, and he's been their second best playmaker in this series.
Boy, that rim has been very kind to Indiana in this first quarter. The Pacers are shooting 61% from the field. They've got a 20-11 lead. Redick, bullet feed, Anderson. Off the rim on a three. West slipped down. Anderson goes down on the play as well.
You know, I love George Hill playing a point. He understood, let's get a good shot on this possession.
Hill, the floater.
Look at JJ battling.
Redick goes into the Indiana bench. And Lou Amundsen was there to cradle his fall.
You know, back in the day, we would give Lou a lot of grief. You got to let him go. You can't catch him.
What do? You get out of the way?
You get out of the way, but I like that by Lou. He caught J.J. Redick, but I probably would have let him go.
Granger, tip ball, and a turnover. Second turnover for Indiana. Nelson, left-handed feed. Ryan Anderson can't finish it. Davis, the offensive rebound. Richardson lets it fly. No. And Orlando continues to have problems offensively. 4 of 13 from the field. That's 31%.
Good block by David West on one end, and then Jason Richardson on Danny Granger on that play.
Here's Nelson now. Looking to probe. Leandro Barbosa is in for Indiana, matched up with Redick. Anderson, short. Davis, another offensive board. Good dump down. Anderson denied by West from behind. And Anderson will get called for the foul. Frustration.
Yeah, you said it right, Ian. This is just frustration. He's not connected on his three-point shot. He got an easy bucket, an easy opportunity. Great pass by Glenn Davis. Hesitation, and David West goes and gets it.
And that's going to be number 2 on Ryan Anderson. And Stan Van Gundy is forced to make a change with little-used Daniel Orton, big man out of Kentucky, will check in. You can download the NBA Playoff Edition Game Time app for your iPhone or Android and Game Time Courtside for your iPad. Stay connected to all the NBA playoff scores, stats, and highlights.
Now, this is a different look for the Orlando Magic. You see Orton, he has some size, not an experienced, very physical player from Kentucky. Roy Hibbert goes right at him. Young fella, walk him to the playoffs.
Roy Hibbert has given Indiana a 22-11 lead. 6 points now for Hibbert.
You know, in this series, the Orlando Magic has struggled with first quarters, only averaging 18 points. Big leads, double-digit leads in this series by the Pacers, and right now they're up by 11.
Redick unable to hit. We're under 3 minutes to play in this first quarter. Timeout called by Indiana. Pacers doubling up the Magic.
Here's Roy against the young fella. Nice move.
Now here in Indianapolis, 22-11, Pacers leading the Magic in Game 5. And the first quarter has just been a killer for Orlando.
And you're totally right. You see these numbers, and it's only -1, -3, but in a lot of these games, they've been down double digits, and they fight back. They put themselves in a hole. The Pacers doing an excellent job of getting off to a great start, and bodies are falling, bumping, and there's Daniel Orton on the ground, and doesn't look like he likes this call at all.
It will work against Orlando, and even coming back down by 10 or down by 11 in the first quarter, that expends a lot of energy that could affect you later in the game. We've seen Orlando run out of gas in third quarters in this series. It's a very limited roster right now for Stan Van Gundy and limited rotation. Danny Granger at the free throw line, adding to the Indiana lead. This is good point production for the Pacers. And there is Lou Amundsen checking in. He replaces Roy Hibbert.
Real good start for Frank Vogel and the Pacers. It seemed like everybody in that starting lineup was in good rhythm.
Game 1, Orlando, tremendous comeback, 81-77 win, an 11-0 run to end the game. Indiana came back, won Game 2, 93-78 here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, then went to Orlando and won a pair. Nelson outside, Redick. Can't hit the three. Rebound, Hansbrough.
Yes.
Fighting through it. Orlando has missed its last 7. Up top, Amundsen unable to finish it. Hansbrough And a jump ball, Tyler.
This is getting physical. And you know Tyler Hansbrough is one of those guys that plays extremely hard. Daniel Orton plays hard as well. Look at these two guys go after the basketball.
Got a little psycho T on both ends.
Yes. And Lou Almondson, you know, he usually connects on this when he just got in the game. I don't think he was loose yet. And here we go again, guys, fighting for the basketball. This is playoff basketball.
And this is Hansbrough against Nelson.
And let's watch Granger shield off Jason Richardson.
He did. You nailed it. Collison in for Indiana. We approach 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. It's all Pacers right now. Collison swings it. Amundsen hits on the jumper.
You know, this Pacers bench, you know, has been a slow start for them. Game 1 through Game 4, they're starting to pick it up. 26 points off the bench in Game 4.
8-0 run. Indiana has its largest cushion, 15. Here's Earl Clark in. Davis fouled hard by Hansbrough.
Love this play by Darren Collison. Knocking down that shot, Lou Almondson. And, you know, I'm so impressed with Darren Collison. The start of much of the year, he got hurt. They inserted George Hill, team playing well. You can see he just wants to win. Frank Vogel talked about it. He's come back, played extremely well. He's not pouting because he's not starting. He understands the big picture.
Steve, right now let's take a look at the Eastern Conference playoff bracket on our big board here. Chicago trailing Philadelphia 3-1. That game is coming up here on NBA TV. Boston up on Atlanta 3-1. Miami leads 3-1. And I don't know if you sense a theme here. Indiana leads 3-1 as well in the East. Earl Clark in there as mentioned for Orlando with Davis, Duhan, Redick, and Turkoglu. Collison gives it up. Amundsen. Hansbrough got a good look.
I mean, that is just great basketball. Collison draws the defender. Two guys come in. He kicks it to Lou Almondson. Lou Almondson draws two defenders, kicks it to Tyler Hansbrough. He knocks down the little 15-footer.
Touch foul out front as Turkoglu got held. It's going to work against Danny Granger, his first.
Look at Darren Collison drawing the defense. Now you draw two. You kick the basketball, and Tyler Hansbrough knocks down this nice little jump shot. That's good basketball by the Pacers.
Hedo Turkoglu, 12-year veteran. You know, we mentioned that Ryan Anderson won Most Improved Player. Turkoglu won it as a member of the Magic. In fact, 5 Magic players through the years have won that award. It's not like Orlando has been around for 50 years.
Right.
It's a pretty high percentage, which means front office has done a good job recognizing talent and talent. Darrell Armstrong won it. Tracy McGrady won it as well.
You know, we saw Turkoglu knock down those jump shots. I think they need him to be a little bit more aggressive. I know he's struggling with the mass, with the fractured cheekbone, but I think right now in the elimination game, he just has to go for it.
28-15, Indiana in front. Clark, not offensive-minded, kick out. Under a minute to play now in this first quarter. Here's Duhan posting up Turkoglu. Got the advantage on Collison. Turnaround. Count it.
Great recognition. Used his 6'10 frame. Shot over Darren Collison on that play.
Last year, Orlando was the 4 seed. They fell to Atlanta 4-2. Granger over Turkoglu. No good. Clark with the board. And as mentioned, Clark has done a good job off the glass in this series, and I think proving to some people that he belongs in the NBA. Davis, the pull-up jump.
You know, at Orlando Magic, they started to get a rhythm at the end of the first quarters, and they carried on in the second quarter. You talked about Earl Clark, averaging about 19 minutes, but 7 big rebounds in those 19 minutes.
It's a 6-0 run for the Magic. 1 second differential. Shot clock, the game clock. Magic do not have a foul to give. Collison one-on-one with Duhan. 4 to shoot. Collison, pump fake. Hansbrough leans. And they're going to have to put some time on the clock. 24-second violation. This quarter isn't over. There was at least a second, and there might have been 1.1, yes. 1.2 in that range. And they'll put 1.4.
You're right on it, Ian.
Steve, I'm like a fourth official. Get it in for Duhan. Flicks it from three-quarter court, and it's over the backboard. That's how this first quarter will end. So Orlando does battle at the end of the first, but again, digging themselves a deep hole. They trailed by as many as 15. Indiana with a 28-19 lead, looking to close out this first-round series on NBA. Here in Indiana, Pacers leading the Magic 28-19. Moments ago, Stephanie Reddy with the head coach of the Magic, Stan Van Gundy.
Thanks, Ian. Here with Coach Stan Van Gundy. Coach, you had some struggles offensively in the first quarter. What needs to change?
Well, our defense needs to change. 28 points. I mean, we got good shots in that quarter. We got great shots for Ryan. Best he's had in the series. We got great shots for JJ. They're not knocking them in. I'm not as worried about that, but we're not going to win giving up 28 in the quarter.
28 points, but also they shot 50%. So what will you do differently defensively?
Play better.
What else?
Play better. They're not doing anything to trick this. We got to play better.
All right, thanks, Coach. Ian.
And there it is. We'll see if Orlando can play better in this second quarter defensively. The most points Indiana has had in a first quarter this series. Shot clock down to 1. Collison can't hit. Rebound controlled by Clark.
Clark does a good job of boxing out, grabbing these rebounds. Darren Collison, the shot clock ran down on him. They probably love to see him penetrate a little bit more, create some offense off the dribble.
Duhan using the Clark screen, tried to roll, but the ball deflected off Collison. Stolen by Duhan. Clark up top for the jam.
They're clawing right back into it. And you can see right now Frank Vogel's up. He's trying to run a set, and looks like they're running a motion play, trying to get Barbosa some kind of look on this play.
It's an 8-0 run bridging the first and second quarters. Here is Barbosa. Whips it inside. Amundsen with a left hand.
Good play. You can see Barbosa, because of his speed and his ability, he drew two. Nice left-handed pass to Lou Amundsen and a nice finish.
Duhan, Reddick, Anderson, Turkoglu, and Clark, the 5 on the floor for Orlando. Anderson, that's an open look. Count it, a 3.
Good open look, but that was all set up by J.J. Reddick. He didn't take a dribble on the screen. He caught Tyler Hansbrough showing a little bit too much. Reverse pivot. Kicked it out to Ryan Anderson for a nice bucket. Second
3 of the night for Anderson. He's now 2 of 7 overall. George fakes out Turkoglu. George to the hoop. Denied. Clark got a piece. Amundsen has come in, and he's been a factor.
He has his activity on the offensive glass, running the floor. And this Pacers team, the second unit, is a very nice second unit. Yes, Paul George is playing, but they move him at the small forward position when he comes back in after his first sub.
Collison, Barbosa, George, Hansbrough, and Amundsen, the 5 on the floor. Duhan thought he was hit. It's coming the other way with Barbosa.
Look at that speed.
The Brazilian blur going to the hoop, and a foul called.
You know, he covers so much ground, and he set Turkoglu up. He was going at a little bit of pace, and the next thing you know, watch the burst from Barbosa right here. Nice by Leandro. Wow. Glad I'm not out there, Ian. I would have just grabbed him. There's nothing you can do.
Leandro Barbosa. Now in his 9th year in the NBA. That's hard to believe as well. The most playoff experience on this Pacers roster because of all of those years with the Phoenix Suns and a couple of deep runs when Mike D'Antoni was the head coach. Indiana with a 35-24 lead on the Magic. Reddick, pull up. Yes.
That is beautiful. I mean, off the dribble, Tyler Hansbrough with a great contest.
He's impressed you this year.
He's impressed me year after year. He's getting better and better at different phases of the game. Off the dribble, defensively.
Knocked away from George, claimed by Turkoglu.
And he's playing hard, extremely hard.
Duhan gives it up. Barbosa didn't bite on the Reddick fake. Turkoglu steps into the 3. No good.
He hit Jerry West. Turkoglu hit Jerry West on that shot.
35-26.
See the frustration on Paul George. This is where the evolution of him, he's starting to look for fouls. He's not getting them. This is playoff basketball. He's going to have to go a little bit stronger.
Turkoglu picks his pocket. Now it's Reddick on a switch with Hansbrough. So many battles in the ACC. Flick inside. Anderson lost the ball. Fight for it. And last touch by Amundsen. Orlando will retain it. Lou Amundsen. He's been a difference maker.
He has. Look at this pass by Barbosa. Nice little play, kept his dribble in the paint. Nice lefty from Lou.
For the Indiana bench, outscored the Orlando bench 26-16. And Lou Amundsen and the reserves have done a nice job here in Game 5.
They have. I mean, very active, not only scoring the basketball. I think Tyler Hansbrough, Lou Amundsen, Leandro Barbosa, and Darren Collison, all four of those guys have come into this game and they played extremely hard, doing the little things, the deflections. And obviously Lou Amundsen has knocked down a couple big shots. But I like how they set the tone as far as not letting up on the defensive end. And Ryan Anderson, he's starting to feel it.
Ryan Anderson with his third three of the night. 3 of 6 from long range. Orlando as a team is 3 of 11 from the three-point line. 35-29. Magic battling back and a steal. Anderson nearly lost it. Barbosa went down hard. Turkoglu on the move. Kick out. Duhon, that's an open look. Short.
Very short.
Whoa. Collison. Outside. George. Rebounded by Clark. Did a nice job against Hansbrough to establish position on the defensive glass.
Another rebound for Clark. Does a good job. And I thought Paul George, yes, he had an open three. But you can take up the space with this ability and size to get into the lane and get an easier shot.
Mismatch. Redick to the left hand. J.J. Redick. Took it around Hansbrough.
Doesn't stand for just jumpers anymore. He can drive the basketball as well.
It's a 7-0 run for the Magic. West on a dump down. Scraped out of there by Duhon. And Paul George is fouled by Duhon.
Let's watch here of J.J. Redick and watch how he's able to take the basketball 1, 2 dribbles and get to the lane, covering space against Tyler Hansbrough. That's the evolution of J.J. Redick. He can knock down the open jump shot. He knows guys going to close out. Now he's putting it on the floor, getting to the bucket.
Got some changes here as Frank Vogel works his starters back onto the floor. Hibbert is in. Granger is in. West had just checked in. Now Clark and Duhon will sit for Orlando. Davis and Nelson back in for the Magic. 9 to shoot. Collison swings it. George, pull-up jump. Rimming out. Hibbert had an opportunity for the stick back. Redick, tight defense there by George. We come up on 7 minutes to go. First half. Davis steps into the jumper. No good. Long rebound for West. Collison releases.
Nice move.
With a head of steam, Darren Collison getting to the hoop.
I like that he got a chance to probe in early offense. The defense relaxed. And you can see Stan Van Gundy calling the timeout. It was 4 Orlando Magic defenders back, and Collison still gets a layup.
Collison had 11 points and 9 assists in the Game 4 victory on Saturday afternoon. And it looks like his confidence is back. Indiana with a 37-31 lead.
On NBA TV, brought to you by Cisco. See what our network can do for your human network. And Gatorade knows it all begins within. Win from within.
Indiana maintains the lead, but Orlando has been able to chip away. Time right now for some coach speak in Indianapolis.
Hey, get our defense and rebounding. Let's get the ball down the floor.
Deflections and tempo with this group. Deflections and tempo. Here we go.
You know, one thing that Frank Vogel talked about earlier with us when he took over the job from Jim O'Brien, he tried to accentuate the positive, what guys could do as opposed to what they couldn't do. Collison, the steal, and the layup. Darren Collison is making plays.
He has, and defensively, he's getting after Chris Duhon, Jameer Nelson. You know, last game, 11 points, 9 assists, but I also have to say and really add, in 4 games, no turnovers. That's impressive.
Half-court set, Nelson a jump shot. Put it on the board, a 3. The Orlando Magic attempted and made more three-pointers than any team in the NBA this season. But they've shot it at 33% from long range here in the playoffs, 39-34. Indiana. Steal, Nelson steps in front of West. Orlando on the move. Nelson forced to give it up. Turkoglu against Granger. High screen. Now a switch. Turkoglu defended by West. That means Granger is with Anderson. 9 to shoot. Anderson just struggling to get a clean shot off. And a push. Granger wanted to travel.
Granger wanted to travel. You can see Granger did a good job. This is a power forward posting up Danny Granger. This is what Ryan Anderson has to work on. The next step for him, yes, he can shoot the three, but they need you to get it down on the block and make some plays against a smaller defender. Good defense by Danny Granger. A little nudge at the end. That's where he got the foul.
Second foul on Granger. One stat that stands out in this first half. 7 steals for Orlando. And their defense is keeping them alive. Wow, the call is not a shooting foul on the side. Nelson against Hill, who's back in there. 10 to shoot. High screen. Anderson sets it. Outside. Turkoglu can't hit the three. Anderson got his hand on it, but Hill up high for the rebound. Streaking ahead. West didn't expect it. Ends up at Granger's hands, and he cans a triple.
He did not see the basketball at all. Good pass by Paul George. You see Paul George laughing at David West. Not at all did he see it. And, you know, the ball bouncing in the right way for the Pacers. Danny Granger knocks it down.
If it didn't hit off Turkoglu, the ball would have gone out of bounds along the baseline. Turkoglu gets it in. Magic down 42-34. We come up on 5 minutes to play in this first half. Nelson gets a play from Stan Van Gundy. Davis against Hibbert.
Good job of Paul George denying J.J. Redick.
Redick. Pick and pop. Davis off his fingertips. Out of bounds. Tune in to NBA Game Time on NBA TV for extensive highlights, insights, and analysis before and after every game. Go to NBA.com at any hour for the latest playoff action. Indiana can bring the lead to double figures once again. George gives it up. Hill, dump down. Hibbert turns and loses the ball. Davis comes out of the crowd with it. Taken away. George shovel. Granger a three. Bottom.
Good play by Paul George. He got the steal on Glenn Davis. What he did is he made Glenn Davis make a decision. He stood there, got the steal, and a great kick-out pass to Danny Granger.
So on a couple of plays that easily could have gone the other way for Orlando, Indiana gets 2 3-pointers. Davis the pull-up jump. Back of the iron. Knocked away.
Look at Paul George. Great hustle.
Out of bounds as George rides the floor.
Great play. Confused Glenn Davis defensively, got the steal, kicked it out to Granger, and he knocks it down again in the same spot and he knocked the last one down in.
Indiana 45, Orlando 34. We'll hit the 4-minute mark, second quarter. Half-court set, Nelson will fire. Connects, a three.
Nelson doing a good job of knocking down these threes.
Nelson now with 8 points. Orlando is 5 of 15 from three-point territory at the exact percentage that they've shot at this series. George off a double. Granger, kick out. Hill lines it up. Knocks it down. It's a three.
It's just good basketball. That starts with recognizing that Paul George has a smaller defender. You throw it into him. The double team comes. He kicks it right away. And then Danny Granger makes the next play to George Hill for a three.
Indiana has shot it at 27% from three-point range in this series. They're 4 of 6 tonight. Davis attacking the rim. He missed it. Hill in transition. Waits for his teammates to get down the floor. And a foul is called by Monty McCutcheon. It's going to be Turkoglu.
You can see right here, Paul George catches the basketball, J.J. Redick. Ryan Anderson comes over, and you can see the skip pass over to Danny Granger real quick. This sets up the drive because Jameer Nelson trying to close out. He kicks it out to George Hill, a standstill three. You love these type of threes. That's called inside out, and without the post, you can still get inside out off the dribble.
And let's bring in Stephanie Reddy with more.
Well, guys, head coach Frank Vogel told me that they haven't scratched the surface yet offensively, these Pacers. He says the pass is the way to beat this Orlando Magic team. And as Smitty just pointed out, they are working the ball around quite a bit, especially out of the double teaming in the post. Remember, they look for the hockey assist on this Pacer team.
Outside, Anderson can't hit the three. Another opportunity for him, and Ryan Anderson now 3 of 9 from the field. As a team, Orlando shooting it at 38%, Indiana 51%.
You know, eyeing on that play for Ryan Anderson. I know he's knocking down threes, and that's what he does best. But you have Roy Hibbert closing out. Now you can drive him, make the next play. If a double team comes, you kick it out for somebody that have a better shot.
A lot of contact. Davis counted and a foul. Glenn Davis going to the free throw line. Davis, a lot of playoff experience with the Boston Celtics, and it's really showed in this series. He's taken his game to that next level. 2:19 to play in the first half. 48-39. All right, Rick, thank you very much. Look forward to you, Dennis, and Sam. At halftime, Indiana is trying to advance to the second round for the first time since 2005. Pacers, the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. Orlando trailing in this series 3-1. Glenn Davis at the free throw line. Chance to convert on a three-point play, and he buries it. 48-40, Indiana.
You know, Ian, we talked about it. We have to give a lot of credit to these Magic players. There's no quit in them. They're still coming out playing extremely hard, down huge by 15 in the first quarter. They fought back.
And a double dribble call, Paul George. Indiana has never trailed here. The one issue has been turnovers, 10 of them in the first half for Frank Vogel's squad. Quentin Richardson is in for the first time.
And that's keeping Orlando in this game. The turnovers by the Pacers. I love with Jameer Nelson. He's being more offensive-minded, being aggressive. And Ryan Anderson is coming off shooting threes. And look at this pass.
Extra feed. The ball rolls to the corner. Anderson digs it out. Richardson, kick out. Nelson, pull-up jump. Count it.
Only down 6. Good job by this Orlando Magic team. Jameer Nelson has 10 points so far in this first half.
Anderson has 9. Davis has 9. Shooting 42% from the field. 48-42 Pacers. West, one-on-one with Davis.
Good head fake.
And rejected. Glenn Davis recovers for the block.
You said it right. I didn't think he had a chance to recover. It was a beautiful head fake, but the big fella used his feet to get back in that play to block the shot.
Long rebound, bounces out to Nelson, trying to turn the corner. Hibbert there to help. Outside Richardson. Counted a 3. Jason Richardson has cut the Indiana lead to 3. 8-0 run for the Magic. Under a minute to go in this second quarter.
And I think if you're the Pacers, you go right back to David West. It was a good move, just a great defensive play by Glenn Davis.
Hill directing traffic. It is West. Dump down, turnaround, short.
Good D by Glenn Davis. He did his work early, didn't let David West get to his sweet spot.
Screen set by Davis. Pick and pop. Davis the jumper. Yes! Glenn Davis from the perimeter. It's a 1-point game with 32 seconds to go.
You can see this Orlando Magic team. Great job by Stan Van Gundy. These players are coming out playing hard. They're getting what they want right now, offense. I like this lineup with Quentin Richardson in the game.
9-second difference, shot clock to game clock. Winding down in this first half. Hibbert getting a touch mid-post. Back in, shot clock at 1. Jump hook. He's got it. Roy Hibbert. 8 seconds left. Nelson now with 5. We're down to 3 seconds. Nelson fouled by George on the outside. The one thing you didn't want to happen for Indiana, make Orlando earn it.
Look at Glenn Davis' recovery against David West. He's done it all.
But they had a foul to give.
Yep.
So George ends up making the right play if he thought that Nelson was going to be able to turn the corner. Timeout taken. Coming from behind, and they now trail Indiana 50-47. The Pacers went 3 minutes and 27 seconds without a point before that Hibbert bucket. Orlando with the basketball, 2.5 left on the clock. Turkoglu, the trigger man. A lot of man movement. Anderson is going to get a clean look. Can't get the 3 to go. That would have tied this one up at halftime. The Pacers head to the break with a 50-47 lead. The Magic end the quarter on a 10-2 run. Stephanie Reddy standing by with Jameer Nelson.
Thanks, Ian. Jameer, you told me yesterday that this team had a lot of fight, no quit in them. We saw that in the first half. What should we expect out of you in the second half?
Higher intensity. We got to play a lot harder. This third quarter is crucial.
Thank you for stopping.
All right.
Ian.
All right, Stephanie, Jameer Nelson and the Magic trailing Indiana 50-47 and trailing in the series 3-1. The Pacers trying to wrap it up tonight and move on to the second round of the playoffs. We'll head back to the NBA TV studios after this. Steve Smith, Stan Van Gundy, before the game, we asked him about the mindset here. And he said it's going to be interesting to see how his team responds if they go down early. Well, they were down 15 in an elimination game on the road. I'd say they responded pretty well.
They did, and they did it defensively. They got some steals. They came over with some steals, some big block shots. They had 5 in that first half, and the Indiana Pacers, they turned the basketball over, and that was the reason why they stayed in this game along with Jameer Nelson.
Take a look at the numbers from that first half. It was lopsided in favor of Indiana. Orlando able to close the gap a bit thanks to that 10-2 run at the end of the first half. Pacers do shoot 49% from the field, but 10 turnovers. Jameer Nelson, a pest defensively and made plays on the other end.
You know, I like Ian that he came out aggressive. You can see he's coming off these pick and rolls. There's no hesitation. He's either going to take the shot or he's going to drive the basketball and get to his sweet spot and knock it down. I like what he did in game 1 when they won the game, and I also like him right now. He understands this is an elimination game. He has to come out and give it his all. He's doing a good job. Look at those second quarter stats for Jameer Nelson.
And before we get things started in the second half, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team tonight. It's Stephanie Reddy.
Thanks so much, Ian. I talked to associate head coach Brian Shaw for the Pacers, and I asked him, was he concerned about deja vu because the Magic did go on another run to close the gap? He said, no, not at all. They're very confident still in their defensive schemes. He said their turnovers is really what did them in, as Smitty pointed out. But then he also said they have to run the Magic off the three-point line. 18 attempts in one half is way too many.
And Brian Shaw has seen just about everything in the postseason in his career as a player and a coach. 127 career playoff games as a player in the NBA, and obviously on that staff of Phil Jackson for the Los Angeles Lakers during their runs to the NBA Finals. Double team on Hibbert to open up this third quarter. Anderson and Davis. George out near midcourt. Shot clock is winding down. Hill doesn't get it off in time. And a shot clock violation for Indiana. Third quarter domination in this series. Indiana, 27 points in the third quarter. Orlando is averaging 15 and shooting just 37%.
Well, you see this Pacers team in the first quarter, they have a great edge on this Orlando Magic team, and also in the third. This tells you the starters versus starters, they're doing a good job. Second unit for the Orlando Magic, keeping them in the game a little bit. And I think also a great timing of the double team against Roy Hibbert on that play forced the Indiana Pacers to another turnover.
Richardson hits the jump shot. Orlando has cut it to 1. The Magic have not led tonight. Indiana with a 50-49 edge early stages third quarter. Largest lead was 28-13 Pacers with a minute 33 to go in the first. Little floater doesn't go for West, but fortunate for Indiana that Orlando touched it last.
This is a nice play by Jason Richardson. You can see coming off the screen, being able to create his own offense. He has to do more of this, and he's kind of the barometer for them. If he gets going offensively, he opens up some space for Glenn Davis and also Jameer Nelson.
George, tip ball, Nelson with a steal, and a foul called on Hill. Jameer Nelson, that right arm hanging a bit. Let's see what happened here as Hill got him as the full extension to get the ball, and just looks like it moved awkwardly, but he appears to be okay. 50-49 Pacers. Magic trying to grab the lead. Nelson on the stutter step. High off the window, no. Tipped home by Ryan Anderson, and the Magic in front 51-50 with a minute and a half gone by in the third.
Look at the confidence of the Orlando Magic. They're getting up, denying defensively. Ryan Anderson is fronting. The momentum is changing right now for the Orlando Magic. The Pacers has to make some plays and get some stops.
Here's West. Good closeout there by Anderson. West knocks it down. David West has been that steady influence for Indiana throughout this series.
I was just about to say the stabilizer. Throw it down to him. Good things happen when you give the basketball to David West.
8 points, 3 rebounds for West. Davis can't answer. Rebounded by George. Lead feed for Hill. Nelson picks him up. Hill off the screen. The pop goes. George Hill for 2.
You know, also, when you look at that pick and roll, Ryan Anderson wanted to stay connected with David West, so it was a half show. Gave an opportunity for George Hill to turn the corner, and Jameer Nelson couldn't get back.
And a 3-point lead for Indiana. Orlando, nothing to show for that possession as Nelson missed it. George zigzagging. Switch. Turkoglu has Granger. Nelson has Hibbert. And a loose ball foul will be called on the inside, but against whom? Roy Hibbert got hacked on the interior with 3 Magic players surrounding him.
You know, I thought on that play, when you see Danny Granger, you called it out. Roy Hibbert has Jameer Nelson. You got to throw it up, but he didn't throw it up. He didn't throw it up, and the foul was called, I think, on Ryan Anderson on that play.
They're going to give it to Nelson, but take your pick.
Take your pick.
Nelson probably should have gotten the one earlier that went on Anderson, so maybe it goes the other way this time. Hill, step back 3, bottom. George Hill from long range.
It's no coincidence that the big plays, timely shots come from George Hill and also David West when they need him.
Hill is in double figures with 11. It's a 7-0 run for the Pacers. Anderson thought about the 3, clear it for Nelson. 10 to shoot. Nelson, the drive to the hoop, and he scoops it home. 57-53. Half-court set here for Indiana. 8:27 to play in the third. Hill one-on-one with Nelson. Hibbert will set the screen out front. Hill, pull up, no. Turkoglu with the board. Gets it ahead. Richardson steps into the jumper. Foul is called to Richardson from long range. Paul George extending out and called on the personal.
No, you never want to foul the jump shot shooters. You just want to contest.
3 free throws for Jason Richardson.
It is, and Paul George, you know, closing out, you got to know that he's going to shoot the 3. Just get your hand up and contest the shot. You can see flying at him. Yes, he hit his arm on that play. Just not a smart play from Paul George. The
way Richardson has been shooting free throws, though, I think he'd rather just get a clean look at the 3 and not get fouled. That is now 4 misses from the line for Jason Richardson.
You know, I said not a smart play by Paul George, but this end up, if he goes 0 for 3.
Richardson put a little more arc on it, and that's 1 out of 3 for Richardson to cut the Indiana lead to 3. George Hill, the 4th-year pro out of IUPUI, running the show here for Indiana. We'll hit the 8-minute mark. Third quarter. West, the fadeaway. Rebound snared by Richardson.
Good rotation by the Magic players. In scramble mode, but guys hustled, got back into play, and forced a tough shot. And Jameer Nelson with another big bomb. It was only a 2, but it was close to being a 3. He is playing with a lot of confidence.
14 points for Nelson. Orlando down by 1. Hill being watched by Nelson with 12 to shoot. High screen. Hibbert. Hill works around it. Hill to the hoop. In attack mode. George Hill.
You know, and I'm watching Stan Van Gundy's body language. He's upset. You always have to be upset when a guy can drive the basketball from outside the 3-point line and get all the way to the lane and get an easy layup.
13 points for Hill. He doesn't have an assist, though. Nelson dragging a defender with him. Davis, the jump shot. Rebound controlled by Hill. Indiana up by 3. Hill picked up by Nelson. Anderson is trying to use his weight against Hibbert. Granger. The drive, stumble. West steps into the jumper, in and out. Hibbert, the snatch, outside for Hill, and a reload. New shot clock for Indiana to work with. Anderson just trying to body up. Hibbert, the back in, 10 to shoot. Hibbert, jump hook.
That came out. Good move by him. Ryan Anderson is really fighting Roy Hibbert on the post.
Richardson outside for Turkoglu. Nelson now, mismatch with West. Wants to take him off the dribble. No. Step back jumper. Doesn't go. Hibbert, the rebound. Granger with a head of steam. Shifting gears. Contact. No call.
Good skip pass.
George. That ball deflected off of Davis. Finds the open man. West. Can't hit it. Loose ball foul. Hibbert goes down. Anderson with contact on the inside. It's going to stay right here. Yes. Ryan Anderson. Number 3 on Anderson.
Yeah, it was a foul line, but I like Ryan Anderson. He's battling. That's what you have to do in playoff basketball, doing a good job of trying to keep Roy Hibbert off that offensive glass.
Second team foul against Orlando, and we'll get a stoppage here with 6:04 to play. We're in the third quarter, game 5 of this opening.
Star Games Max Payne 3, coming May 15th. Rated M for mature. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Third quarter action, 59-56. Indiana, time for coach speak. This time featuring Indiana head man Frank Vogel.
And look, we're giving up way too many three-point looks down the other end. And we know they're coming after us. We know they're coming.
Vogel in his first full year as a head coach in the NBA after taking over on an interim basis for Jim O'Brien last season. Pacers just past the halfway point of the third quarter, trying to close out the Orlando Magic. Hard double comes from Davis. Hibbert in some trouble, 10 to shoot. George swings it, and a 3-second call. It's going the other way.
Good double team. Glenn Davis is doing a good job of double teaming, and there's Larry Legend, one of the best ever.
Well, Frank Vogel, we asked him earlier, who's your sounding board? He was from the Rick Pitino coaching tree. He said Larry Bird has been the guy that I bounce things off of, a tremendous resource. Inside! Davis denied as Hibbert got there defensively.
That's a great play on both ends. Huge recovery by Roy Hibbert, but I love that Glenn Davis stayed with the basketball player and got it back and called a timeout. But beautiful block by Roy Hibbert.
Glenn Davis looks like he's going to get the big finish, but no, the big fella, all 7 foot 2 inches of him, with a block. Timeout. Magic.
People look up to us for our athletic abilities on the court, but it doesn't come close to our military.
Because of their courage, because of their willingness to protect this country, I'm so thankful that they were able to do that for me, to make this a safer place for me to live.
They're protecting our country.
Well, I feel like as basketball players, people look up to us for our athletic abilities on the court, but it doesn't come close to our military.
Because of their courage, because of their willingness to protect this country, I'm so thankful that they were able to do that for me, to make this a safer place for me to live.
They're protecting our country, protecting the world, and obviously we wouldn't have freedom without them.
They put their lives on the line every single day for us to keep our country safe, so they're definitely appreciated, not only amongst all the other citizens, but definitely the NBA.
NBA cares. Hopefully our military can get a little taste of home with the NBA playoffs, rooting for their favorite teams. Here it's Indiana leading Orlando 59-56. We have 5:31 to go in the third quarter. Pacers leading the series 3-1 and trying to become the first team in the Eastern Conference to advance to the semifinals.
And we talked to Stan Van Gundy in closeout games. He said it. You just want to hang around, and then the pressure will build up on the Pacers. And I think right now the Orlando Magic are doing that. Keeping it close, get some deflections, get some turnovers.
Richardson, the jump shot, short. Rebounded by Hibbert.
You want to put the pressure on the Pacers. And I think right now for the Pacers, they want to get some room to get this crowd into the game. So far, the Magic have negated this crowd.
West just ran into Nelson. Looked like West took the brunt of the hit. Granger, pump fake on a 3. That's for 2. No. Hibbert tapped the ball to himself in a reset. High screen. West. Hill explodes to the rim.
You know, I think they're finding something because once George Hill comes off the screen with David West, Ryan Anderson does not want to disconnect from Roy Hibbert's body because of being able to box out. But he has to come over and protect the basket. He's not.
15 for Hill, 9 in the quarter. Nelson lines it up. Cans a three. Jameer Nelson.
17 big ones. Let's see if they go right back to that play again.
Nelson now with 7 in the third. Hill using the Hibbert screen. Nelson works around it. Shot clock is down to 10. George looked to dump it down. Couldn't get it in for Hibbert. Hill now forced to give it up. Shot clock down to 3. Hill on the move. A jumper off balance. Short. Davis with the board. Nelson slows it down for Orlando with under 4 minutes to go in the third. And the Magic down by 2.
You know, they want to keep it in a half-court set. They want the tempo to be half-court. They feel that they can keep it close. They can make the plays down the stretch.
Davis, ball fake on Hibbert. Davis, a fadeaway. Got it! Glenn Davis.
Off the one leg. What a series for Glenn Davis. You can tell he's giving it all. He's huffing and puffing, but he's playing extremely hard. This pick and roll is giving the Magic a lot of problems.
Hibbert inside. Counting in a foul. Roy Hibbert. Huge on the interior.
Let's look at Glenn Davis. Good wraparound pass by Jameer Nelson. The nice spin off the one leg against the 7-2 Roy Hibbert. And then on this end, great pass by Roy Hibbert. I mean, Turkoglu tried to follow him as hard as he could. No effect. Possible and one for Roy Hibbert.
And that's number 3 on Turkoglu. J.J. Redick is in. Hibbert missing on the free throw. Score Orlando Magic and Indiana Pacer playoff gear at NBAstore.com right now and get free shipping on orders over $99. NBAstore.com. One store, every team. 63-61 Indiana. Nelson on a drive to the hoop and he lays it in.
The point guards are having their way on these pick and rolls. And I think you got to stay with it, especially for the Pacers. They don't run a lot of pick and rolls, but I think they have to continue to run these pick and rolls because Ryan Anderson does not want to disconnect from Roy Hibbert.
19 for Jameer Nelson. Richardson called on a foul on a reach-in. That is the 4th team foul for Orlando.
Jameer Nelson doing a good job. Showed that he was going to the middle, froze David West, went on the outside, got the great angle, finished at the rim.
Half-court set here. Hibbert one-on-one with Anderson. Shot clock is down to 5. Hill wants a post-up. Timer winding down. Hill, the floater. Battle on the inside. It's a loose ball foul. And it will work against Orlando for grabbing the jersey of Roy Hibbert.
Here's the aggressive George Hill coming off the screen. Nice little floater. You can see he's a total package. Now he comes off, he steps back and knocks down a 3. That's not an easy shot. Turns the corner right now, gets all the way to the basket. So he has a variety of moves coming off this pick and roll play. He can drive it, he can stop and shoot the mid-range, and he also can step back and knock down the 3.
Orlando's now over the limit. Anderson has picked up his 4th foul. So we'll see Earl Clark take off the warm-up. Hibbert at the free throw line where he shoots it at 71%. Indiana up by 1. Here's Clark replacing Anderson. Earlier we saw Daniel Orton, the first big off the bench in the rotation. And Stan Van Gundy has made an adjustment here in the 3rd quarter with Clark getting the call. Roy Hibbert, 11 points, 7 rebounds. 1 out of 2, rebounded by Davis. Davis now with 13 points and 7 boards.
Here's a different look for Jameer Nelson. Darren Collison a little bit closer on these pick and rolls.
Nelson a 3. He's got it.
But it doesn't matter. 2-point lead for the Orlando Magic right now. Jameer Nelson putting his team on his back.
12 in the quarter for Nelson. He's got 22 overall. Granger can't answer from long range. Clark cleans the glass. 66-64 Magic. We'll hit the 2-minute mark. 3rd quarter. Hesitation dribble. Clark gives it up for Davis. Makes his move on Hibbert. Davis fading away. Short. Hansbrough the board.
Tired legs for Glenn Davis.
Collison, he's fresh. Gives it up. Granger a bump. Gets the roll and a foul. Danny Granger can put Indiana back in front.
Nice play by Darren Collison. Drew the defenders. Threw it out to Danny Granger. And he took a couple steps, but he got to the basket. They didn't call it. Play on. Nice play by Darren Collison with a beautiful pass to Danny Granger.
12 points for Granger. Now tack on one more. He's 4 of 13 from the field. Indiana 67. Orlando. Foul call. Touch foul on Collison. First foul in the last 2 minutes against Indiana. If Orlando forces a game 6, it'll be Friday night back in Orlando. And then a game 7 will be here in Indianapolis on Sunday. Magic down by 1. Shot clock at 10. Nelson bangs off the top of the backboard. Rebounded by Davis. Intercepted by Collison. Collison now on the move. Collison gives it up. Barbosa with the deuce.
Great patience by Darren Collison. Quentin Richardson was trying to play in between two, but Darren Collison made the effort and showed that he was going for a layup to draw Quentin Richardson. Beautiful drop off to Barbosa for the easy layup.
69-66. Indiana's bench has outscored Orlando 17-8. Fans getting charged up. Davis the curl to the rim. Hansbrough the help. Knocked outside. Richardson shot clock down to 1. And he buries it. Quentin Richardson inside the arc.
Nice play by Earl Clark chasing down that 50-50 ball coaches like to talk about. He grabbed it, kicked it out to Quentin Richardson. Ball fake. And a nice mid-range jump shot.
Indiana up by 1 with 38 seconds to go in the third. Granger comes to the ball. Turns the corner on Richardson. Granger draws defenders. Barbosa can't hit the 3. Long rebound to Redick. 7-second difference. Shot clock to game clock. Final stages now of this third quarter. Magic continue to hang tough. Nelson the drive. Kick out. Davis gives it up. Gets it back with 7 to shoot. Nelson, he's scorching hot, a 3.
He is on fire.
Jameer Nelson, 25. 5 seconds to go in the third. Collison with 3, with 2. Collison with 1. Out of bounds. Orlando will take over with .6.
You can see in the scramble they forgot about Jameer Nelson. And he is shooting this basketball unconsciously right now.
Richardson doesn't get a shot off, but what a quarter put together by the Orlando Magic. Jameer Nelson puts up 15 individually. And Orlando heads to the fourth with a 71-69 lead on Indiana. Pacers trying to close out the series. And be ready.
Thank you so much, Ian. The obvious question is about Jameer Nelson, Coach. He had 15 points in that third quarter. What do you do defensively?
Yeah, we just got to get out and show a little more on the pick and roll game. Our point guards that are guarding Jameer have to battle more to get over the picks easier. He's coming off looking to score.
Defensively, Roy Hibbert has really been your cleaner in the paint. You rely on him heavily. He fouled out in the last game that was forced overtime. How do you keep him active but still in the game?
Well, he's done. That's where he's grown the most over the last couple of years, his ability to defend the rim without picking up fouls. So we feel good about what he can do.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
And Stephanie, Orlando able to reverse the trend from the last 3 games in the third quarter. Redick, foul called. Hansbrough was over there defensively. 24-19, the Magic outscore Indiana in the third. The last 3 third quarters, the Pacers outscored the Magic by 15, 17, and 10. Redick to the free throw line.
Different story today, and I think, Frank Vogel and his coaching staff, they have to make a decision when Jameer Nelson comes back in. And he talked about it with Stephanie about this guard's getting over this screen, but it's so hard because Glenn Davis, the subtle things, he sets great screens for Jameer Nelson, gives him an opportunity to come off clean and get these open looks.
Orlando has fallen behind by double digits in the first quarter in 4 of the 5 games in this series, and here they are with a 72-69 lead early in the fourth. Granger defended by Turkoglu. High screen. Collison swings it. Shot clock is down to 3. Granger. Turkoglu got a piece, and a foul called. Mark Davis blows the whistle. And free throws coming for Danny Granger.
No, not great. You can see Turkoglu. Good job by Danny Granger moving the basketball. You can't get your hand caught in that cookie jar. Gives up 3 shots. Or was it 2 or 3?
Looks like it's going to be 2. Fourth foul on Turkoglu. Anderson is on the bench with 4. Danny Granger missed a pair of huge free throws in game 1 that left the door open for Orlando to get the come-from-behind victory. That ends a 6-0 Magic run as Granger knocks down a pair. 1-point lead for the Magic. The Magic 5-11 this season without Dwight Howard. The back surgery, Howard rehabbing in Los Angeles. And a foul. It will be Hansbrough picking up the foul. The star tonight has been that man, Jameer Nelson.
And yes, indeed, you can see he's turning the corner. He has this Pacers defense off balance because he's knocking down this 3 ball. He has 5 of them, and then when they play up, he gets to the rim, and then when they lose him, he's knocking down all open 3s. 5 for 6, 25 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Turkoglu draws the foul on David West. Nelson getting a breather on the Orlando bench. Put up 2 points in the first quarter, 23 in the second and third quarters combined. Hedo Turkoglu with a free throw line, 70% shooter. Orlando with Duhan, Redick, Turkoglu, Clark, and Davis. Indiana with Collison, Barbosa, Hansbrough, Granger, and West. One out of 2 for Turkoglu. 5 points on 1 of 4 from the field. Orlando up by 2. Just over a minute elapsed in this fourth quarter.
Orlando needs Turkoglu right now. And you can see there'll be a steady diet of David West for the Pacers against Glenn Davis.
Granger using the West screen. West rolls to the rim. Granger, a little fend off. Barbosa, penetration. West, the jump shot. Count it.
Keyword penetration, what you said, Ian. Guys getting into the lane. Defense has to collapse. You have a power forward like David West that can knock down these open shots.
Duhan to the basket. Goes down hard. Turnover. Barbosa weaving his way. Gives it up for Collison. Pacers run the floor and score in transition.
Transition basketball could be the difference. Half court. The Magic are doing a good job against the Pacers, but so far in transition, they have a big advantage to Pacers.
It's 14-0 on the break in favor of Indiana. Redick trying to break loose against Barbosa. Kick out. Turkoglu lets it fly. Way off on a 3.
Look at this play by Danny Granger to Barbosa. Barbosa finds David West. Good basketball. And then you can see this transition. You talked about, Ian, 14-0. It's hard to make up these type of points because the Pacers are getting easy buckets.
Iron Eagle, Steve Smith, Stephanie Reddy, the rest of our NBA TV crew. Game 5 of this first round series, the Pacers and the Magic. Knocked out of bounds, and Indiana will retain it with 9:43 to play in the fourth. Pacers 75, Magic 73. They're going to reset the shot clock as it ricocheted off the rim.
Stan saying it didn't. Mark Davis is saying it did at the bottom of the rim.
Indiana leads this series 3-1, trying to wrap it up tonight at home. Granger, the drive. Outside, Collison lines it up. Got it! A 3!
Granger had his options. What he did was kept his dribble, turned the corner. He had Tyler Hansbrough for a layup. Also Darren Collison in the corner for a wide open 3.
7-0 run. Stan Van Gundy calls timeout with 9:33 to go in the fourth. Indiana trying to put some space between them and Orlando and trying to advance to the Eastern Conference. 73 Indiana, 9:33 mark of this fourth quarter.
Well, let's look at this play. Danny Granger did a good job of not giving up his dribble. As we freeze it right here, you see Chris Duhon, but Danny Granger has an option to Hinesborough, or he can kick it out to Collison, and he chose Collison on this play. Good play by Danny Granger. Had two options. Hit Collison, and Collison knocks it down for an easy three.
Ryan Anderson has come back in for Orlando. Nelson returns, replacing Duhon. Davis, defended by Hansbrough. Now it's Nelson one-on-one with Collison. High screen Davis. There's the roll to the rim. Davis able to get some space and lay it in.
A lot of attention to Jameer Nelson on that pick and roll. Jameer did a good job of laying off a soft pass early to Glenn Davis, and he can make a move and avoid the charge.
Barbosa met by Nelson and a foul called.
You see Jameer Nelson turns the corner, gives the basketball early so Big Baby can make a play and avoid the charge. And Big Baby has great basketball feel. Put the ball on the floor, avoid the charge, and finish.
15 points, 8 rebounds for Davis. Collison, pull-up pop. Yes. Darren Collison has now scored 11 in 15 minutes of action. Another efficient performance. Nelson gives it up. Davis hard to the hole. Kick out. Turkoglu swings it to the open man. Redick, bottom on a three.
Good basketball. You see the skill set of Turkoglu, being able to pump fake, drive the basketball, and make a point guard play at 6'10".
80-78, Indiana. Orlando now 10 of 24 from long range. Collison got around Davis. Outside, Granger a three. Count it! Danny Granger from long range.
This is good basketball we're watching from both teams.
8 minutes to play. Granger with 18. Indiana up by 5. Using the pick. Nelson shifting gears. Oh, that was nifty. Jameer Nelson. Creative on the interior.
He is feeling it. I mean, went into the land of all the bigs. Nice little reversal, pearl move, and got a nice little layup. And look at Collison. Speed.
Darren Collison. He's had a big impact tonight. 13 points for Collison off the bench. 85-80 Indiana.
What a luxury with these two good point guards for the Pacers, Collison and George Hill.
Out on the perimeter, Turkoglu, trip against Granger.
Look at Darren Collison, turn the corner quickly and pull up. Didn't get too deep. Great recognition, great read by Collison. And then on this play, you can see Darren Collison, he gets all the way to the basket because Ryan Anderson was late. No presence in the middle for the Orlando Magic.
Third foul against Granger. That's 4 team fouls against Indiana. Orlando with an opportunity to shoot free throws here in this fourth quarter if they can remain aggressive. Nelson out high. Nelson, sneaky play, couldn't finish it. Knocked to the outside, Turkoglu's got it. New shot clock. Anderson had it knocked away from behind by West. Barbosa on the break. Barbosa going to the window. Leandro Barbosa. Timeout, Magic.
Listen to this crowd. They're getting into it.
Indiana making plays on the defensive end and then turning it into point production. 16-0 Pacers on the break. It's 2005. They beat Boston that year. It was an upset. They have an 87-80 lead over the Orlando Magic. Larry Bird, president of basketball operations, former head coach of this Pacer team, a team that went to the NBA Finals with him on the bench leading the way. And what a job he's done rebuilding this roster. Davis slipping to the rim, missed it on the inside. Davis goes down, as does Hibbert, and no call.
No call, but great contest by Roy Hibbert.
Collison one-on-one with Nelson. 7-point lead for Indiana. Collison splits defenders. Granger with an open look. Can't hit the three. Hibbert, it popped out of his hands, and Nelson has got it for Orlando. Nelson, pull up three. Back of the iron. Uncontested board for Granger. A quick jack from Jameer Nelson.
He was feeling it. He thought he could walk right into it to knock down that three. Roy Hibbert had an opportunity, just couldn't grab that rebound because he had an easy putback. Darren Collison is doing a good job of turning this corner. There's David West.
The leaner, David West. Fourth quarter production.
You know, I'm looking at Glenn Davis, and I feel so bad for him because you can tell he's winded, he's tired. He hasn't really set out this game. He's played a lot of minutes. Running pick and roll, then have to dive to the basket.
Nelson to the hoop. Hibbert gets a piece. Indiana trying to pull away against Orlando. 5:25 to go. A switch. Anderson picks up Collison. That means Nelson has to guard a bigger player.
This means Ryan Anderson's on that island. Quickness.
Give it up for West. One-on-one with Nelson. 7 to shoot. West, the back end. He traveled. David Guthrie just told Frank Vogel, easy does it as Vogel popped off the bench.
And you can see because Jameer Nelson maybe got away with a little pull, but you can see this previous play on the same play right here. Here's Jameer Nelson being very physical. Yeah, he chopped his feet a little bit. But earlier you got a chance to see David West to the bucket. Nice move.
The unlimited data. Go to sprint.com/NBA. By Budget Rent-A-Car, where you'll always find great rates and unlimited mileage. And by Wendy's.
9-2 run for Indiana. They lead at 89-80. Let's flash back. Last time the Pacers won a playoff series, 2005. The number 6 seed, Rick Carlisle, the head coach. They upset the Boston Celtics in 7 games. Steven Jackson, 24 points. Reggie Miller's last season with Indiana, 97-70. The final, the Pacers would lose in the Eastern Conference semifinals in 6 games to the Detroit Pistons.
Look at the steal. Oh,
George to Granger. Indiana. Double-digit lead with 5 minutes to go.
That's the play of the game. That's the length of Paul George. Wow.
Nelson against Collison. Extended action for him. Anderson lines up the three. Put it on the board for Ryan Anderson. 91-83 Indiana. High screen. Hill playing alongside Collison. That's the luxury that you have with Hill, who can play the 2. And a foul called. Hill got bumped on the inside. It's going to be Nelson, number 4.
Look at the length of Paul George. A beautiful pass. Great catch by Danny Granger at a perfect time for the Indiana Pacers in that 3-ball. That's the stabilizer. You can get right back into the game, and we know the Orlando Magic can knock down some of those.
Anderson now with 14. Stan Van Gundy's squad led by Jameer Nelson with 27. 10 to shoot.
Interesting lineup for the Pacers. 2 point guards out there with Paul George and Danny Granger. Basically David West at the 5 spot.
George, bottom, a 3. Paul George contributing from the outside. 94-83 Indiana.
Playing small ball right now.
Small against big. Nelson, kick out. Richardson, that's a jump shot for 3. Flings off the rim, no. Indiana is 10 of 12 from the field here in the 4th quarter. Collison, the curl to the rim. Outside, Granger, no good. Rebounded by Anderson. Turkoglu, he'll take the 3, no. George there for the board, and Indiana will slow things down. 3.5 to go.
You know, I think if you're the Pacers, I don't want to run a screen and roll. I have David West against Ryan Anderson. I go right to him.
Granger to the corner. George can't hit it from long range. West tracks down the loose ball. And Indiana can reset its offense. Fans on their feet. Collison, the pull-up. Gets the roll. Indiana can taste it. Timeout Magic. 13-point cushion for the Pacers.
That's the way you draw it up. Kick it, they shoot it, and here's Darren Collison in the paint. Mid-range jump shot. Great game by
much with 2:59 to play in the fourth quarter. Indiana with a 96-83 lead, and what a difference tonight in the fourth quarter compared to Game 4, when Orlando was able to come from behind and force the game into overtime. Pacers ended up winning it to take the 3-1 lead in the series. I don't know if the Magic have anything left up their sleeve here with 2:45 to go and down by 13. Nelson over for Redick. Redick over West. Rimming in for J.J. Redick. Strong showing in the postseason this year for J.J. Redick.
And you can see the small ball played by both teams. I give the advantage to the Pacers, because when you start talking about small ball with David West at the 5, he still has advantage, even he doesn't catch it on that glass, versus this Orlando Magic team.
Granger outside, George, 5 to shoot. Granger makes his move to the rim. Off the glass and in, Danny Granger with the runner. 22 for Granger. 98-85, a steal. Collison, what a night! Darren Collison with a steal and the bucket.
What a game from Darren Collison. Pressure, pressure, pressure he's putting on.
Indiana has not closed out a series at home since 2000. And they are a minute 44 away from moving on to the second round. Collison has 13 in the quarter. He's got 17 overall. Hill and Collison are clicking together. West a double. Hill makes a cut to the rim. Granger pump fake on a 3. That's for 2. No good. Anderson with a rebound. A minute 20 to go. Redick pull up 3. And it's rebounded by George. And the Orlando Magic will face so many questions during the offseason. Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy. This roster, who stays, who goes?
I give them some credit, though. Throughout this series, even though they would lose 4-1, they
Collison, it
hard.
continues for Darren Collison.
So you're totally right. But they played hard, Orlando Magic.
We are down to 50 seconds to play. Anderson, a restricted free agent. Howard will be going into the final year of his contract, as will Nelson, Redick, and Earl Clark with a player option. Stan Van Gundy's future will be the first topic of conversation for this Orlando squad. 40 seconds to play. The Indiana Pacers. They surprised a lot of people this year with a 42-24 record, grabbing the number 3 seed and making it stick. Granger knocks down the 3.
They are rolling.
25 for Danny Granger. We're down to the final 24 seconds here in Indy. 105-85. The Pacers explode in the fourth quarter. Foul called. Turkoglu will go to the free throw line. Darren Collison bottle this for the next round.
Yes, indeed. I mean, just fresh legs. You know, we forget, and I think people forget, he was the start on this team. Coming off the bench, not pouting, playing extremely well. Between the two, the point guards have 34 points.
That was pretty close to a smile for Larry Bird.
That was a big smile. That's all he's going to give you.
Turkoglu at the free throw line with 15.8 remaining. Last year, Indiana was the 8th seed. They lost to Chicago in the opening round, the number 1 seed, in 5 games. Frank Vogel, we talked to him earlier. He said the goal this year was not to just make the playoffs. It was to make a deep playoff run. And also the way he labeled it, I was impressed. Not to just get out of the first round, to make a statement.
And he talked about they wanted to have a deep run, a very deep run, and now they have a chance to see where they're going to play in the second round.
That'll be between Miami and the New York Knicks. They went 1-3 against the Heat this season. Final seconds. Fans on their feet, great basketball fans in the state of Indiana. 5 seconds left. The Indiana Pacers take that next step as a team and advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Pacers eliminate Orlando 4-1 in the opening round. 105-87 the final here in Game 5. Fourth quarter, Indiana outscores the Magic 36-16. An exclamation point for the Pacers at home.
It truly was. Give a lot of credit to Darren Collison. What a spark plug he was coming off the bench. Not only offense, but defense for the Indiana Pacers.
For the first time in 7 years, the Indiana Pacers win a playoff series. Larry Bird, the architect of this Pacer club. Just think where they were 2 short years ago. They were nowhere. And Larry Bird has put together a team that now is relevant, has credibility, and is in the Eastern Conference semifinals. 105-87. Indiana knocks off Orlando. They shoot 52% in the process. They go 9 of 17 from three-point range. And we send it over to Stephanie Reddy, standing by with Darren Collison, the star tonight.
Thank you so much, Ian. The second half, you were truly a catalyst for that offense out there. Where were your advantages?
On the defense. You know, in these playoffs, you don't know if your offense is going to be working for you. You know, everybody's so keen on the tendencies. And, you know, you really got to rely on your defense. And so that's what I thought had the advantage.
There was a point around the 10-minute mark where David West hit a shot for the tie, and then you took the lead in the next possession. You never looked back. Coach Vogel always talks about the kill instinct. Did we see some of that tonight?
You definitely did. You know, down the stretch is definitely when we got to be at our best. I thought we did a good job of closing out overtime last game. And, you know, this game we were fortunate to come out the same thing.
We got to see some of your depth out there tonight. What do we have to look forward to in round 2 from the Pacers?
You know, the same effort. You know, we're not a team that's flashy, you know, that a lot of people like to see. You know, we're just a team that likes to play as a team and play with a lot of heart, and that's all we can do.
All right, congratulations for advancing.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ian.
All right, Stephanie, Darren, thanks very much. Final score here in Indianapolis, 105-87. The Pacers move on over the Orlando Magic. Coming up, the playoffs continue on NBA TV. Game 5, Chicago and the Sixers. For Steve Smith, Stephanie Reddy, the rest of our crew, I'm Ian Eagle. Good night from Indianapolis. Let's go to Rick Kamla in our NBA TV